What's happening, Shredder Nation? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to episode number 29 of Shred Your Body. I'm your host, Jesse James Jamnik. I am really freaking pumped to be here with you guys tonight. I cannot believe that for 29 weeks in a row, we have had another amazing story after amazing story after amazing story of just epic physical transformation, mental transformation. You know, if you haven't heard of the ER Shred yet, I would highly encourage you to go to www.ershred.com. But in real simple form, yes, Lenny, 29. The ER Shred is what in my opinion is the best health protocol that has ever been put out there. Why? Because it's simple and it's effective, and the results are compound, and they will blow your freaking mind away. We crush inflammation, we crush cravings. We help people battle situations that they have faced for years and years, and they are now overcoming those situations where people are reporting sleeping better. They're reporting more natural energy. They're reporting weight loss. They're reporting muscle gain. They're reporting endurance, activity, and increasing. Me, myself, as an athlete, I've experienced this. It is hands down the best thing that I've ever tried, and I have tried a lot over the 20 years. So I would highly encourage you to go to www.ershred.com and please come join our free Facebook community. It is free. It is open to anyone. We have a wealth of knowledge in there, and it is one of the best freaking communities that I have ever been a part of. And I just want to invite you to experience it for yourself. If you like it, great, stick around. If you don't like it, no hard feelings. It's not for everyone, but there is 22.2 thousand people in there that are just freaking epically coming alive, and it's just the greatest feeling in the entire world. But without further ado, I'm going to shut up. This is not about me. This is about special guests. My mission every single week, every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, I come on here live again, and I pick out and I choose people part of our Shredder community, and these stories are just touching on the heart. They'll give you goosebumps, and I have met some amazing epic people. I mean, I don't even know the words to describe. It's amazing. It's epic. It's raw. It's real. It's authentic. It's vulnerable. It's all those words of all these people. And this guy tonight he's just one of my favorites. His attitude is electrifying. His personality is off the charts. He is from New England, exactly where I am from. So he's already way up there on my list, and he's one of the best guys. Just wait till you get to meet him. But without further ado, I'm going to bring in the one, the only, Mr. Coleman Clifford. So welcome to Shred Your Body, Coleman.
Thank you, Jesse, and Boston's in the house.
Boston's in the house, baby. Hey, listen, can you do me a favor? Can you let everybody know when you go to work every single day, what is that thing that you get into and drive away in? What do you drive to work in?
My car. Oh, my car. I take my car and I don't park it in Harvard Yard.
Ah, dude, I love it.
And we have a wicked piss of time at work.
I love it. Coleman, my finger, I got this, I don't know what the hell this is, but it's the parakinema or whatever the hell it's, but I use the word wicked. And one of my friends from Rhode Island was like, that is a perfect way to use the word wicked. And I was like, only a true New Englander, Boston or Rhode Island would understand the value of the word wicked, right?
Absolutely. And I think I commented, you got 9 others. You should have just cut it off.
I should have just cut it off. I know. It was infection. I was like, I've learned as I get older. I've trying to learn from my past mistakes. And the old Jesse would have been like, "Suck it up, Buttercup." But I figured the white pus that was growing out of it. I needed some antibiotic, and unfortunately, I can't prescribe myself antibiotics. So
trust me, I get it.
Whatever the case is, right? But listen, man, let's dive into you because I'm really excited to share your story, Coleman. So first off, thank you for showing up. Your story is, you and I don't know each other that well. We met once on a team call, and I can't wait to get to know you better. That's one of my favorite parts about actually the ER Shred in itself is just the awesome people that I've gotten to surround myself with. I think that we are we're all just pieces of the people we choose to surround ourselves with. And as we
Absolutely.
up level those people, you know, I notice myself that life gets better and better and better. And I'm sure you've had this experience too, but I'm grateful to get to know people like you because, you know, hearing your story for people that don't know, you know, back in, what was it? 07, right? 07,
December,
08 area. Back
November
in
of '07.
07, you were diagnosed with an incurable cancer. I can't
Absolutely.
imagine what that does to the brain when you hear something like that. So I want to dive into that if that's okay with you. You had
Absolutely.
3 lung surgeries to battle this. And here you are in 2021. You've just dropped over 40 pounds. You've walked over 105,000 steps in the last 7 days. You are decreasing your medications. And I want to make a quick statement, Coleman, because this is your story only. You know, we are not here to say that we can treat, cure, prevent, or diagnose any disease. That is not what we are here to do. Our job is to just give people the tools and the information, and hopefully you can touch on some of how you get to experiment and really get to learn your body, Coleman. But let's jump back if we can. Talk to me about life before this news. What was it like? How was our health? You know, what was going on in the world of Coleman at that time?
So I've always been an entrepreneur. I ran a small high-end service company. We did all our work through interior designers. So we took care of the finest homes in Boston and Newport and Nantucket and the Vineyard. I was all over creation. Always had a busy life. I had 3 young kids going to hockey games, baseball games, basketball games. And all of a sudden, I just started feeling rotten. I was getting a lot of chest discomfort, pneumonia, bronchitis. And, you know, in the back of your mind, you kind of know something's wrong, but you just keep putting it off and you put it off and put it off. And I went to see a doctor in '06, and they told me I had a spot in my lungs, but I should be fine. It probably wasn't anything. Maybe I inhaled a peanut. We'll keep an eye on it. So a year to date, in November of '07, I got pneumonia again. They went in. The doctor was still joking when I went under. They decided to do a bronchoscopy. When I woke up, he wasn't so funny. And they realized I had something very serious going on with me. And luckily, a very good friend of mine, a client, but a good friend, said to me, listen, you're not getting operated in some Hoboken hospital on the South Shore. You're going to go into the best in Boston. And I ended up getting, had the privilege of having as my doctor, a doctor by the name of Dr. David Sugarbaker, who was the head of thoracic surgery at Brigham and Women's Hospital and the head of thoracic surgery at Harvard Medical School. And he said to me, I don't know what's wrong with you, but we'll figure it out.
Interesting.
So I had my first surgery in December of '07, 5 days before Christmas. And I was diagnosed with neuroendocrine cancer. It's a very rare, incurable cancer. And what neuroendocrine cancer is, neuroendocrine tumors, they're these tiny little tumors that grow very small. And the difference then, I like analogies, right? So if you use the analogy of a regular type of cancer being like Pac-Man, where it just destroys your tissues, what these do is they can give off anywhere from up to 200 different types of peptides or hormones that just totally play mad havoc with your whole endocrine system. So it really F's you up.
Yeah.
So not only did I have all this lung stuff going on, I was flushing, I was exhausted. You know, I felt like I was going through menopause. It was insane, absolutely insane.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So what was health like for life up until this point, Coleman? I mean, was health a priority, or?
I was always a very active guy. I coached baseball. I coached ice hockey. I skated 3 or 4 times a week, 12 months out of the year. My oldest guy was a AAA goaltender. Whenever I traveled for work or just doing local things, I'd do, charitable 5Ks. I mean, I was in pretty darn good shape. I ran a company, but I was the company. I had a few employees, but I was in the field every day. So I was lifting 200-pound Oriental rugs out of the mansions down in Newport, or I was, lifting furniture all day long as we cleaned it. So I was a pretty physical guy.
Wow. Hey, this has nothing to do with this, but I don't know who this is because it just says Facebook user, but somebody said Dr. Sugarbaker passed away at age 65. Your doctor?
Yes. Yes, and I was going to allude to this, but I'll bring it up right now.
Okay.
And I want to just jump back to something you said,
Yeah.
which I
Sorry.
think is so important about, using the ER shred in health and nutritional stuff, right? There's no such thing as a cure to anything.
Right.
And the only shot you have to cure anything is your mind-body connection.
Mm,
So what we're doing here is we're flooding our bodies with good nutritions, eating the way that we were designed to eat to give our body a chance to fight off any of these things.
yeah.
And Dr. Sugarbaker was truly a man amongst men. Here is a guy that not only saved thousands of lives, but he taught thousands of doctors to save thousands of lives, and
Mm,
nobody could save him. So anytime in life, but especially as you get older and you're going into your late 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, that your health is so important. And
yeah.
I spent a lot of time after my initial 3 surgeries. They say that for every hour that you're being operated on, it takes you a month to recuperate. And then I ran another study. For every surgery that you have in a course of 12 months, it could take you 2 to 3 years to recover from each surgery. And I can attest to
Absolutely.
that. I had 5 or
Absolutely.
6 years that were just, I literally was going through life with blinders on.
Yeah.
So,
So Coleman, before we get it, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I want to
no,
make sure that we don't get, we don't lose this piece of it because
sure,
I kind of
absolutely.
jumped ahead by reading that comment, so that's my fault.
No problem.
But talk to me. So health was amazing. You're active guy. Your focus. Now when you say active, was nutrition a big piece of life too, or were you just the active guy? Because I know sometimes I meet a lot of people that are physically looking from the outside, like they can go every day, and you're just that, like, to me, like when I see you, you're driven, you're focused, you're blinders on. Like I can just imagine it's just good vibes. You know what I mean? Like I get it.
Yeah.
But was
And
nutrition a big piece too in part
nutrition
of that, or
was part of the piece. Okay,
okay?
so I was a cheeseburger, pizza. I loved my chocolate. I love brownies. I love chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah,
I'm a Guinness guy. I like to go out and have a few pints with the boys.
yeah,
But I tried to eat well. I ate a lot of chicken, a lot of fish. I had my little juicer. I'd throw my carrots and celery juice in there, and so
yeah.
I always kind of blended the two. I was never as healthy as I probably should have been nutritionally, but I was never completely off course either.
Okay, makes sense. So it wasn't like one way or the other. I mean, what you just described is what most people from health coaching over the years is what somebody would describe to me. Is I'm like, well, you say you're healthy. What does that mean? And
Right.
healthy still means, maybe there's an additional extra beers, extra burgers, extra things, and maybe it's a little too much. Maybe it's balanced. Maybe it's not, but it's kind of somewhere in there. So that's good
Right.
to know. So what was it like? So you're running life. Life is, I mean, you got control, you're taking charge. And then after this surgery, nobody's joking anymore. What was this like on you? I mean, you have kids, you have 3 children, obviously you're married. I mean, what was that like for you at that point in time? What did that do to
It
life?
was it was earth shattering. It literally is like somebody came and he pulled the rug right out from under your feet.
I'm sure.
So, going into the surgery and doing the recovery from the surgery, it just was like mind altering. As you say, how am I going to take care of my kids? What if I can't work anymore? What am I going to do with my business? Am I ever going to get better? And coming out of the surgery, I started to recover pretty quickly. Even as early as March of '08, I was on a bike training for the Pan Mass Challenge, and I was actually feeling good. And I'm like, okay, we're back in control here. Everything's going fine.
Yeah.
And then, boom, 2 months later in May, I end up flat in my back again in the ER. Turns out another one of these little buggers that they didn't see when they were in there cropped its ugly head out, and I developed what they call BOOP, which is bronchial organizing pneumonia, blah, blah, blah. But it's something that if you don't get to the hospital, it will kill you. And it
Yeah.
almost killed me.
Huh.
And so within 2 weeks, I was in having my second surgery. So they did a lung resection the first time.
Yeah.
I went in the second time, they did a second lung resection. So now I've lost almost probably at least a good third to close to a half of my right lung. And the symptoms kept coming.
Man.
Yeah.
It's like getting kicked while you're down, but this is like stomped by an elephant, for crying out loud.
Well, exactly. And then you're learning the process so that There's very few experts in neuroendocrine cancer in the country, never mind the world. Luckily, we had one in Boston. He was a gastro guy, but Dr. Sugarbaker got me into him.
Yeah.
And so we would be doing these tests, and I would still be getting these symptoms, and the imaging wouldn't be showing anything. And the more you learn, the more you understand that these things at the time, they grow so slow and so small, can play havoc, but they're undetectable. So it was always, well, you probably have something else. We just don't know where, when, or when it's going to rear its ugly head.
Yeah.
Tried getting back in shape again a little bit, pulled a hernia in my lung, had to go back in again December of 08, right before Christmas, and have a third surgery to repair a hernia in my lung. So I got through the surgeries. So the next 5 years was just havoc, back and forth, every 3 to 6 months, getting symptoms, working a little bit, not working, working, not working, trying to keep my business going. And I would go through these points where, like, I felt like I was ready to be on my deathbed, and then I'd feel a little bit better and I'd bounce back into action. But the whole time in the back of your mind, you're thinking, the inevitable's right around the corner, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is just a matter of time. And, when you read stories of other people with the same type of condition, and some of them don't make it 6 months, some of them don't make it 2 years. And so you're always living with that expectation as, oh, my fingernail hurts. What is it now? You just don't know what it is and what's causing it.
Yeah. Wow. That's a lot to process, brother. That's a lot.
It's been a hell of an education.
Yeah, for sure. You brought something up that I want to pull out and touch on. And crazy enough, I don't know if you know or not, my dad and I, we run a wallpaper installation and custom window blinds business together on top of me doing my nutrition stuff and everything.
Yeah, I've seen some of your posts. That's pretty cool. I meant to mention that to you.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But today I was actually speaking with an older lady, and we were doing her paper, and we got into nutrition, and we were talking about these things, and she had this issue, and, we were talking about the mind-body connection. And I said, I've read so much science and these crazy reports, these published reports and documented, situations of people battling stage 4 cancer and reversing these things and curing themselves. And for you, I mean, it sounds like you had this, but talk to me about, it sounds like you are pretty, like, I'm not going to take any shit type of person. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is true Bostonian right here, right? Like, get out of my way. Like, nothing's stopping me. I mean, even though you kept having this stuff, what was the mind? Did you notice a mind connection? I mean, it sounds like you never lost the fight, or did you lose the fight and you had to keep going back with yourself? What was the mind like during all that?
So you have bouts of being on the edge, right? That you are losing the mind, but I'm from Boston. I grew up in the neighborhood of Dorchester, the home of Marky Wahlberg,
Yeah.
So I got great street smarts, great street skills. And I'm not the most religious person in the world, but I'm a person of tremendous faith. My grandmother, who came over from Mayo, Ireland, she had 5 kids. Her husband died when she was pregnant with her 5th kid. She raised all 5 of her children on Center Street in Dorchester. She lived to be 102. When my parents got married, they bought a 3-family house. She lived on the 1st floor. We lived on the 2nd and 3rd. She'd drag me into the Arch Street Shrine in Boston to get her mass cards every week. But I got such tremendous faith from this woman. Yeah. She was really my rock growing up. And I've carried that with me through the whole life. So I always had that ability to, excuse my French, but pull my head out of my ass and refocus and not give up, not give in, not let it overwhelmed me. And there were times, there were days, there were weeks, but I always had the ability to bounce back and try to stay focused. And just to jump back into the physical part of that, I think a lot of it, what kept me going was the physical part. When I had my first surgery, my daughter was up at Assumption College up in Worcester. Yeah. And they started a stair climbing team because of me for the American Lung Association. So every year, couple times I did it with pneumonia. We climbed 82 flights of stairs to raise money for people with lung disease. So, I always had these things in the back of my head. I'd climb stairs. I'd go up to Hemingway Park in Dorchester and do my stairs as a workout. And I always had the presence of mind to keep moving, try to keep focused, keep working, change it up if I had to, readjust. But always try to go to the next step.
Dude, I hope I just got so much value from that. I mean, thank you, because that to me is just a reminder. You know, it's crazy how we get in our way, Coleman, and you just proved. I mean, here's a guy, you know, incurable cancer, 3 freaking lung surgeries, and you're climbing 82 flights of stairs with flipping pneumonia to raise money for people that are suffering with something that you're suffering with. I mean, if that doesn't show the soul and the character of you, holy shit, bro. You're a great human being.
I try, Jess. I mean, I try to do my little bit, and I try to be a good role model and try to treat people right. But it's funny, how
I can feel that you're very humble, Coleman, but I just got to tell you, one of the things is I'm working on giving more and accepting more. It's just part of and bro, I just feel it. Like
thank you.
This is the part. This is it. I mean, getting to know you. I mean, bro, this is everything. So I hope people can take a piece of your story, Coleman, and your story, even though, I think sometimes it's like, oh, I'm going through this and I'm going through this and through. If it's your life, it's the worst thing ever because it's happening to you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's really hard to put that into perspective of other people. It really gets in the way. But if you work on that, it's a beautiful thing to be able to separate that. But people can take this, right? Like if they're suffering with whatever they're suffering with, whether it's weight or depression or, love, self-love, whatever, and they can take a piece of your drive and just say, you know what? I just got to get up and go. I just got to put one foot in front of the other. I just got to freaking go. Like I'm not quitting. And that's it. And you have that belief and you surround yourself with the right. I mean, it sounds like you have an amazing support structure and system with your family and that faith that you got, put into you. I mean, I don't think people realize that if you don't have it here, it's so hard to get everything else to go. But if you get this, you can literally heal yourself by just believing that you can do it. They've proven that.
If I could throw this in too, and this is something I think, I've kind of had in my head over the years, and I actually heard it in a completely different way this week. So you're always relearning things you already know, but sometimes they come to present, right?
Yeah.
And when you think about it and you break this down, I like analogies. I like to dumb stuff down so I can figure it out easy, right? And there's really only 2 words in life that are relevant. And they both have the exact same meaning, polar opposites, right? They're both F words, right? Fear and faith. You can't see fear and you can't see faith, right? It's the same as you can have results or you can have excuses, but you can't have both.
Yeah.
You can't live in a state of fear that's negative and expect to have faith that is positive. So you got to choose your F's and you got to choose them wisely. And you're not going to live like that 24/7, 365, right? But if you have that mindset that every time that you have that sensation of fear, it's the fear of the unknown. You can't see it, but it's your mind-body connection making that stuff up. It's like saying, I can't drink the cleanse because it doesn't taste good. That's the fear. That's not the faith.
Yeah.
Have the faith that I can drink the cleanse because it's going to make me feel like $1 million, Yeah. So it's all just setting that mindset for yourself that no matter what it is, you're going to go above it, go around it, and go through it.
Unbelievable. I don't even know if I should keep going. I feel like that's such a valuable piece to end on that people could just take
notes, boys and girls. Take notes.
Listen, man, if people, I just hope that people are open-minded every day. I hope that people are always willing to learn new things.
Yeah, you should be.
The day that you close off and the day that you think you know it all is just the day you might as well pack your bags and just be done because anyways, that was priceless. Thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it. My pleasure. So listen, let's fast forward now. You go through all of this stuff. Life is, well, actually, let's talk about this. What was life like? First of all, how long have you been using our fulfillment company's products?
So it's funny let's go all the way back to when I first said that I wasn't feeling well, right back in '06, and they told me maybe I inhaled a peanut.
Okay.
So my buddy, Coach Mike Howard up in Worcester, Mass, said to me, "You got to do something to get healthy." And he
Yeah.
introduced me to the Isogenics products of the fulfillment company way
Okay.
back in '06.
Okay.
And I have been using those products ever since. And quite honestly, not religiously all the time. I'd be on them for a few months, feel great. I'd get lazy or I'd get busy, and I'd just, you put them off. Or you have too many cheeseburgers and you go do a 30-day. You know the drill.
Yeah.
And it was good, and it's great products and everything else. But to fast forward to, so about a year ago with the pandemic, I switched gears up a little bit just to go back to my business. My oldest son, who is a teacher, he's got a master's in education, came in to help me out when I was going through my toughest times. And after about a year, I said to him one day, what are you going to do? You're going to go back to teaching? And he said, well, I love the teaching, but I can't make the money I make working with you. So I said,
Yeah.
great, take it and run with it. So he's still running my company, and I've been venturing into other things. But about a year ago, started to work on another little side business, and I was driving some Lyft on the side, and you could see the writing on the wall. Everything was going to fall apart. So I started doing some work online for a telehealth company, and then I used to work at the shot club. They called me back, asked me to come kind of keep things going. So it all kind of played out pretty well. But
Yeah.
right around that time, I'm like, this is a physical, intense job. So I got right back on the Isogenics products, and I was doing them religiously. And then back in November, December, right before Christmas, things slowed down. I was packing on the weight a little bit. And he said, there's this thing. It's called the shred. You got to do it. I said, don't even tell me. Just order what I need and tell me where to go.
That's awesome.
And I have become a student of the student. I love the ER shred. And when you talk about community, I mean, you mentioned authentic rather. These people in the ER shred group are mind blowing. They're amazing human beings. And you don't need to be a coach or have a coach. You just got to go to this site. Go on 5 minutes a day and read a few posts.
Yeah.
Every day I go on there, I learn something new. I learned a ton of stuff about the cleanse this morning when I was flipping through. So it's a great community to really learn how you want to live the rest of your life and how to live it healthily. And I'm sorry, I think I might have got off track with the question.
No, you're good. Listen, there's no right and wrong on this show. This is just chit chat, right? This is all getting to know you. So for you, Coleman, I want to get into the shred and what you think the major difference is between this, and especially now that I've known you've had access to the same high quality nutritional supplements and stuff that we choose to use while we do this protocol, because it checks off every high requirement that we require: undenatured protein, third-party certified tested, bioavailable, 70 trace minerals and nutrients. I mean, it just goes on and on, right? So we check those off, and we'll get into that. But so after your surgeries and stuff, I mean, you were on and off. I mean, did it just after that third surgery, was it just done? Like, what did health become a top priority now, to where it was trying to eat clean and trying to do the right things? And I know kind of you said you went back and forth on and off, but was health that priority thing? And what happened to the cancer?
Oh, it's still there. I'll be back in September for my next 6-month checkup. It's until they find a cure, it's never going away. They still think there's one of those little suckers or two of those little suckers in my body somewhere. I still get some flushing.
Show up
I still get some brain fog. It could show up at any time. And so a lot of it was the mindset, right? So after the surgeries, and you're still getting these symptoms, and the frustration of them not being able to tell you what it is. I'll give you a quick example. So with this disease, one of the hormones that's given off with these tumors is serotonin.
Okay.
Right. So everybody knows serotonin speeds up your digestive system, right? So the problem with a lot of people with my disease, they spend half their life in the bathroom and they have no control over it. Luckily for me, I never had high levels of serotonin. So I would go to my endocrinologist and they test me for this and they test me for that. And they say, we can't find what your marker is. And I'd say, well, test me for the other stuff. And they're like, you don't understand. There are no tests. So your frustration level is just through the
Yeah.
roof. And you would have a day or two or a week and you're feeling great. And then all of a sudden you're flushing. My blood pressure would go from, 120 over 80 to 190 over 130 for no rhyme or reason. I would get these episodes of flushing and I'd get spacey and I'd be having a conversation with you and I would forget your name because that's just the stuff that was going on in my head.
Yeah.
So I just dealt with this. I lived with this for years and years and years. And even up until like last year, I changed my mindset a bit. I didn't, you try to come out of that phase where it's doom and gloom and, who knows when the end is near until, hey, you know what? People live with chronic diseases every day. God forbid I could, cross the street in Kenmore Square and get run over by a bus tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
The only three things you're guaranteed is the day you're born, the day you die, and that little dash in the middle. And you got to try to live your best dash. And I started changing my focus and my mindset to do that. And the thing that really put that over the top and through the roof was the shred. Because as soon as I started doing the shred, everything started changing. I had been using Isagenix products, but I didn't get a lot of muscle tone back. I was probably doing the same amount of work. I was still on 3 high blood pressure medications. I was taking a Presbyterial, I'm pronouncing it wrong, but for heartburn. I felt like crap all the time. I'd end up at the doctor's for this, because you don't know. It's all in your head. Maybe it's the next step, right?
Right.
And man, just since February 15th, everything's just gone 180 degrees the other way, right? So I have a lot less flushing. I still get a little, but it's down tremendously. I have my blood pressure is like steady. Matter of fact, the reason I started backing off the blood meds is because I feel like I was going to fall on my face and I'd check it and I'd be like 90 over 68, So I tape it off to about 1.5. I haven't taken the other stuff. Ibuprofen, I used to eat it like M&Ms because everything hurt every day, no matter what I did. I have not had an ibuprofen since February 15th. And again, this has nothing to do with the products. This has nothing to do with the shred. This has to do with your body. You're feeding your body good nutrition, and your body is starting to heal itself. And that's what's happening for me. I mean, I don't got guns like you, but, I'm getting ready for bikini season there, brother.
Yeah,
it's like,
buddy.
It's, so it's I'm seeing transformations. I work between my job and my business. I'm doing 65, 70 hours a week and I'm go. They tell me at work, slow down. I'm like, no, this is just my normal flow.
Yeah.
I just go like a bat out of hell and I get energy to burn.
Unbelievable. And you are 61 years young.
61 years young.
That is unbelievable.
And here is another adoption that I made in my life, right? So I had these negative overtones for a long time about, when and where will the end come? And as I said, I changed my mindset. So I told you about my grandmother.
Yeah.
She lived to be 102. She was the only grandparent I ever knew. My grandfather, as I said, passed away, and my dad's parents both passed away when he was young. So I set a goal that I'm going to break that expectation. I'm going to live to be older than my grandmother. So I'm shooting for 104. And I'm going to live every day of my life from here on in like I'm 39.
Dude, that's so awesome. I'm freaking so happy for you.
Thanks, brother.
February 15th, you go all in on the shred. Your buddy says, hey, there's this thing called the shred. You are not like most people. You just say, sign me up. Most people are like in their head. They're like, oh my God, we're eating meat. Oh my God. And we start questioning everything and we get blah, blah, blah. But of course, now getting to know you, of course, you're the guy that just goes, yep, put me in, coach. I love that because that's kind of how I figured shit out. You know what I mean? Whether it was right or wrong, there was a lot of wrong along the way,
right,
but a lot of wrong. But I just dove in head first. It's like you jump off the cliff and you just figure out the parachute afterwards. You know what I mean? Like you just got to dive in and go. But I love that. And February 15th comes around. You do your first shred. When you actually first learned about it, where it was, shakes and meat, and we were stripping away all the bullshit, the carbs, the processed sugars, the fake dyes, the all the other crap that's out there. And we just started to fuel the body with nutrients, with vitamins, with minerals, with shit that the body is craving. Talk to me about that first shred. What was the initial thing? Did you go through any downsides? Because there are some positives and negatives with all of this. Like, what was your very first one like?
So my very first one, as I said, jumped right in and go back to the faith and the fear, right?
Yeah.
So I took the faith. I'm going to follow the rules. I'm going to be strict about it. One of the first things is I saw, your video, suck it up, Buttercup. Just play by the rules, right? If you're going to play full out,
That's
right?
It.
But to throw the fear side in, I had a huge fear going in. They put me on cholesterol medication well over a year ago, which I did not take. All I heard was nightmares and crazy stories about people on cholesterol medication. So my biggest fear going in is like, oh man, this is probably going to send my cholesterol through the roof. But I jumped in with a leap of faith. Let's see how it works. And I had a couple days. I think it was it was funny. My first cleanse day, I had to go into work. I wasn't expecting to. It was a last minute emergency thing. And I went like a bat out of hell. The next day, I felt like I got run over by a bus. I couldn't move, And I'm like, oh man, am I going to be able to do this doing what I'm doing? Yeah. But I just stuck with it. I had a couple days that I was full of energy. I had a couple days that I was sluggish and struggling. But, I'd jump on the scale and I'd see the weight going down. I felt my body changing. I felt my energy level rising. And I'm like, I'm in for the long haul. I'm in for the ride. Let's hang on and see what happens.
Yeah. That's awesome. So thank you for sharing that, because I'm a very real person. You go watch a couple videos, you'll know that I'm a pretty real guy. I'm
Absolutely.
Just
You're a New England guy.
You got to trudge through the shit. You got to pay your taxes before you can reap the rewards. You know what I mean? I think so many people, they're just looking for the typical American way of, hey, give me the magic pill, or, give me something I can do for 2 days. And I expect miracles to, fly down with fairy dust and shit. And, you just said it. I mean, people need to know, like, this is not something that, you can feel great. You can have amazing results. I mean, we have thousands of testimonials now of people of all walks of life, right? Old, young. I mean, you've seen it. You've been in there with me. You know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
That's why people need to go check it out if they've never seen it, ershredders.com. But it's just the basics, right? Like, the human body is the human body. No matter who you are or how old you are, like, we still need the same things. Whether you're an elite athlete or you're a person looking to lose 100 pounds, your body still needs the basic fundamentals. But to get to the good, you're going to have to go through some of the bad, because you've been abusing yourself for so many years. The cheeseburgers, the beers, the extra ice cream, the shit that we know damn well we're not supposed to abuse, but yet we do it anyways. Right. And then we decide to be like, oh, well, no, nothing. Like, you just shit yourself for the last 15 years. You can't expect miracles overnight. And I appreciate you sharing that real story, because it shows perfectly how you come in, you're not necessarily doing the best that you possibly can. Now, all of a sudden, you get this very basic, bare bones, like, here's how to do it protocol, right? Where we strip it away, but the body's going to go down, and then you shoot back up. So by the end of that 11 days, you would say you were feeling, how were you feeling at the end of the first 11 days compared to how you started the first 11 days?
Like a rock star, like incredibly, and I probably didn't realize it at the time, but you guys used the phrase, you come alive.
Yeah.
I realized I was walking in a different attitude. I was talking with a different attitude. I had a newfound level of confidence. I was just amazed at, just in that 11-day period, how good I could be, that I was telling people about it, recommending it to people, and just looking at it from a point of view, wow, if I felt this good after 11 days, what if I make this part of my lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
So I followed it up with the 10 days of 2 shakes a day and a meat meal. And then I started doing the, adding things in slowly. I'd do at least 1 shake a day, and started getting a little bit of tweaking back in my knees, a little bit more soreness. And I'm like, okay, let's try it again, see what happens. And sure enough, second time around, one of your cleanse days, you feel like absolutely god awful. You got no energy. You can't move. The next day, you bounce right back. You jump on the scale. You've lost weight. Your muscle tone's coming back. And for me, I mean, I'm doing stuff that I know a lot of people that are in their 30s and their 40s couldn't keep up with me. That impresses the hell out of me, you know? And it's you know, I see a lot on the site, you know, and it's everybody wants their questions answered. And how is this going to affect me? Look,
Yeah.
there's nobody in the world that has these same fingerprints, right? There's nobody in the world that has these same eyes. Everybody's different. So what works for me may not work for you. You might have to tweak yours a little bit this way, or I might have to tweak mine a little bit that way. But the end result is it's bringing you, as you say, back to basics, having your body eat and work and function that the way it was designed to do, and
Yeah.
then filling you with super good high nutrition from the fulfillment company. It's just incredible.
Yeah. And also, what did you learn? I mean, you said you were scared because a part of our protocol is teaching people the power that grass-fed, high-quality beef is. And I mean, from the conjugated linoleic acid to the fact how it crushes inflammation. I mean, it's been in studies that are fighting cancer, breast cancer in women. I mean, it's just, the stats are nuts. And I think there's so much misinformation. What is your belief about meat now compared to what meat was in the beginning when you first started? Because I think a lot of people struggle with this part too, right? Because we've been told lies for 60 freaking years over and over again that we believe these lies now.
I tell you, when I just a couple of weeks ago, and I had posted on the site, I got my I had some blood work done, and I had my virtual appointment in January, and my doctor told me to get my readings, and I kept putting it off and putting it off, and I was doing the shred, and I kept putting it off, and I was afraid to go get them because I was afraid of what they were going to be.
Yeah.
And it absolutely freaking blew my mind when all of my cholesterol readings came back better than they've been in 15 years. I mean, just boom, just totally blew that whole myth right out of the water. Because I've been eating a lot of red grass-fed beef and, you know, organic chicken. I've been smothering everything with Kerrygold butter and eating a ton of Kerrygold cheese and all the, you know, the pink salt. And as I said, you're like, okay, does this stuff really work? Am I going to get slapped up the side of the head by my doctor when I go back? And boom, these results were absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So it just distills all those myths.
Yeah. I think it's just a beautiful example, Coleman, that, you know, you've probably heard me preach this, and I'll say it again because it's so important. You are the miracle, brother. Every one of us is the miracle. The human body was designed to feel and function at the highest peak optimal levels. The problem is that we're pulling up to the gas station every day, putting in the shitty gas when we need the high performance. And it's when you give the body a fighting chance, and that fighting chance is just giving it the vitamins, the minerals, the nutrients. If you look at what the cells need, and we're just 100 trillion cells as human beings, if you look at what they need to function and operate, you'll find the vitamins, the minerals, the nutrients. You need over 70 minerals and trace minerals every day. And we're getting that from the shakes. We're getting that from the meat. We're getting that from taking out. I think sometimes people think like we have to strip away, and that's kind of like a dirty word. Have you ever felt deprived? Have you felt starving? Have you felt like this was any other type of diet that you've ever tried? Or explain it to people what it's like to live a lifestyle. What does that mean, a lifestyle of ER shred? What do you do every day? How do you make it work?
So I always like that, you know, that when you hear people say, well, I could only have 2,000 calories today, I'm going to save, you know, 1,800 of it for a brownie, right? So, man, I eat like a pig, right? And I usually have 2 meat meals a day. And as I started incorporating stuff in, so I would throw like a steak, chicken, some broccoli, some asparagus on the grill, figuring out I have enough for, you know, meals for the next 2 or 3 days. And there were nights it was gone before I was done. You know, it's just, you just eat. And I realized because of what I do, because I'm on my feet, you know, 9 hours a day, and I'm going and I'm all over the yacht club, and I'm back to the gas stock, and I'm helping set up a function room. And So it's like, I got to fuel this to have my energy. So I don't worry about eating. I
Yeah.
eat the right stuff, but I eat it when I want to eat. I have my shake in the morning for breakfast. I usually eat a couple meals during the day, meat meals, and
Yeah.
a couple snacks here and there, maybe
Yep.
maybe a few strips of bacon or something. And then I
Yep.
have a shake before I go to bed. I am never hungry. Oh, and just to go back to, you were talking about cravings. I was a chocoholic. I have not had a piece of candy since February 15th. I don't miss it. I love chocolate chip cookies. I have not had a cookie since February 15th, and I don't miss it. I love brownies. I eat cake and brownies, and I love that stuff. I have not had a piece or a craving since February 15th. The only thing that I have craved and I have indulged in a little bit here and there is a couple of nice pints of Guinness for medicinal purposes only.
Yeah, buddy. For medicinal purposes only. Hey, listen, let me ask you a question though.
Sure.
You say that you haven't had a cookie or you haven't had a brownie or you haven't had chocolate and you don't miss it. Do you feel that it's because you can't eat it on this, or do you feel that it's just because, like,
I
why
don't
is
crave it. I have no desire for it. Bread. I used to love bread. And it's funny. I'm Irish. I told you I'm Irish by heritage, but I'm Italian by ingestion. I
yeah.
would love pasta and I love fresh bread, Italian bread, French bread. I have gone out a couple times to a high-end restaurant, had a cheeseburger and only eaten the bottom roll. I've had no bread. I've had very little pasta. I don't crave it like I used to. I go to a
And
restaurant.
just so people understand how powerful that is, explain what the North End is like and the quality of
Oh, the only thing close to the North End is the hill down in Providence, but
okay.
I think we take the cake right there.
Absolutely.
The North End is like a food orgasm.
It
You
is.
go in there, it is this tiny little place in Boston with cobbled streets, and one restaurant is top of the other. I don't think there's one that fits more than 25 or 30 people. And it is the best food in the world. I grew up down there. I lived in Dorchester, but my buddy was Italian, would be over there 3 or 4 times a week. And man, let me tell you something. I can eat Italian. It is the greatest place on God's green earth.
Yeah. Yeah. So just so people understand, like, he's got access to literally some of the best that I've ever tasted. He's not kidding. That's why I brought it up, because I knew you were going to have that reaction. Dude, that's awesome. And thank you for sharing that, because I really want to. I'm so glad that you're like this, Coleman. Like, I hope people understand, like, the mindset that you have, knowing that you don't need to be told what to eat. Nobody needs to tell you what to eat. You're a freaking grown man. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you get to choose, and you're going to learn very quickly. Have you tried foods that once you got yourself to baseline, and once you created an alkaline state in your body, and once you got rid of the inflammation, have you tried to introduce foods back in that you found didn't serve you the way that you thought they might have before?
Absolutely. I found that, so as I said, I started out with, like some broccoli, some um, asparagus. It was around St. Patrick's Day, so we had to get the potatoes and the carrots with the corned beef, right?
Yeah.
And but there's a few things I had, like pizza doesn't. I've had a couple of different pizzas. Some of them don't sit with me very well anymore. I found a couple that do.
Yeah.
What else? I'm trying to wrap my head around avocado. That's my thing right now. After this shred, I got to get myself to start eating avocado. I was never a fan, but I want to try to incorporate that. But I haven't really branched out a whole lot.
Put some salt on it.
Yeah.
It's absolutely delicious. And if I can, you know how you say you just do it because you know? I'll give you a reason. Because then I'll know you'll do it. 480 milligrams of potassium in one avocado. Potassium is one of the most powerful electrolytes. You need more potassium doing this lifestyle. So
right. And I read that on one of your posts about getting leg cramps and things, a thing you should do. But so I went out one night and I had a bolognese and I was nervous about it because I love bolognese, and thank God it went well. And that was the other thing I want to mention about doing this. So if I do bring a date to the North End some night, right, I can have a nice bolognese or a chicken piccata or something and not feel like, oh man, I'm throwing it all down the tubes, because my body's burning it. It's just like it's like I'm adding nitro. It's like the funny cars when they're doing the quarter mile in New England Dragway, right? We're putting nitro in there. It's just like taking us at 250 miles an hour down the road.
I love it, brother. You're also, we're not going to dive down this rabbit hole too much, but we can connect. You're probably getting to a state of what's called metabolic flexibility, which is where, most people pre-shred, Coleman, you were processing and running on glucose, right? You had 2,000 calories to store. That's what you had. You were always hungry. You were always eating. You were filling that tank and emptying that tank really fast.
Right.
Now you've switched to fat where you can store over 100,000 calories, and you notice that you're no longer a servant to food. You eat when you're hungry, and that's it. And you fill yourself up, and you're not scared to eat, and you eat until you're satisfied, and then you go until you need more fuel, and you fill up that gas tank again. But the beautiful thing, and this is where I'm at, and I've been at for a while, and I wish everybody has this experience, is that you primarily burn fat as your fuel. That's how you train your body. But you're flexible in the essence of, if there's carbohydrates present in the body will always go to those first because they're easier to break down for the use of energy. But your body can process that and then very easily shift back to fat adaptation, which is why you can go out to that dinner, really not feel the effects like you used to maybe feel the effects, or maybe you do a little bit and you're like, oh shit, you fight them off. You get right back to your lifestyle and boom, it's nothing like the first time because you've done the consistency. And that's the beautiful thing of what you're explaining to me. That's where you're at. And that's I don't know. Isn't that freeing? Like, that's free.
Oh, it's amazing. It feels so, like I say, I don't feel like I'm 61. I feel like I'm 39, 40, and I've got all this, this newfound things in my life that I can use and explore.
Yeah. So Coleman, you've done 3 shreds. You're finishing your 3rd one. You started
two more cleanse days. Yep.
2 more cleanse days. Okay. I have no doubt that you'll crush this. You started off at 208 pounds in February 15th of this year. You are now down to 166 pounds.
Correct.
We don't know how many inches exactly, but you look amazing. Your muscle tone is coming back. You're 61. You're outworking most people, literally. Fact. You're outworking most people today that are half your age. You've decreased your medications. You're no longer a slave to food. You no longer have the cravings. You know that it's not because you can't eat it. It's that you don't want it because it doesn't serve your body.
Correct.
Holy shit. I mean, this is absolutely amazing. Like, you're just thriving. Your blood work is amazing. Go ahead. Say what you got to say.
And on top of that, Jess, I'm training for 2 charity events in June. On the 13th, I'm doing the Boston Children's Hospital Walk. And then the following weekend, we're doing another Boston stair climb. But this year, we're doing it at Fenway Park.
Oh, that's going to be epic. That's going to be epic. Dude, I'm going to have to plan because I come to Rhode Island very frequently. We're going to have to plan something. I'll have to see if it kind of coordinates and I'll have to come
absolutely. I'll shoot down to Newport. We'll go up to the hill.
Yeah, but listen, I'll come run building stairs with you too. Like I'm
That sounds good.
I got those screws loose. Like, that sounds like
absolutely. I love it.
That sounds like a whole lot of fun to me. And if we can throw charity in and make it for a good cause, like, I do this stuff anyways. Why not do it for a good cause, right?
It's fun.
So listen, dude, we're coming to the top of the hour. You shared amazing stuff. I mean, there is more value in this call that I really hope people go back and pull out the clips. Heather's on the call. Maybe she can go back and work her magic. She likes to clip me and edit me, so she can do that to both of us.
Heather's great.
And pull out your best pieces because you drop some epic knowledge on people that I really hope people take and put it in their bag. A lot of it they can use right now, especially with the mindset, the determination to go. But let's finish it with this. Tell me, how do you feel about the ER shred today? What has it done for your life overall? You're a dad of 3 children. You're a grandpa to 4 amazing grandchildren. I know they're a big part of your life. Being healthy and all those stats that I just listed, what does that mean to you from the inside out? How are you showing up to life differently? How has it changed things for you in the outlook of what's going on now?
So 2 things. I love my kids very much. I'm very close with them. and I've always tried to be a good role model. And not only to as I said, I coach a lot, other kids, sports and whatnot, but you want to set an example, and you want to create a story that someone else might be able to use to get over some triumph and some tribulation in their life, right? You never know what you have to say might turn someone's life around and help them out in that way. And the other thing is, I look around, I see people getting into the late 60s and their 70s, and all these dreams and aspirations for their retirement just kind of go down the tubes because they're not healthy to do anything. I want to travel the world. I mean, I want to see every country in the world. I want to be able to go and spend 2 or 3 months at a time in each one. I want to have fun over the next 30 years. I don't want to be walking around with a cane like some old grumpy old grandfather. Yeah. I want to be able to do stuff with my grandkids, do stuff with my kids, do stuff with my friends for the next 30 or 40 years. Yeah. So why not? This is the perfect way to do it, to keep yourself healthy and in balance for your life.
I love it. I love it. Thanks so much. Have you checked out, Rod Brooks?
Yes.
Have you checked out the Grandpa Project? Because you're like you're the Grandpa Project.
It's funny. I know about it. I've seen it. I gotta investigate that a little bit more. I'll have to reach out to Rod.
You got to reach out to Rod. You guys got to connect.
Definitely.
I mean, this is right up your alley. You both are walking, talking, living, breathing examples of the Grandpa Project. Grandpas should, and grandmas too. We don't want to exclude grandmas, but it's all part of it. But he's obviously a male, so we call it the Grandpa Project. But It's grandparents should be able to be in a physical and mental state that they can enjoy their grandchildren, and not just like babysit them, but take them on play dates and go to the playground and go for a hike and travel and go places to create these memories. And brother, you are setting yourself up for that. I mean, 61, but you look like you're damn, in your mid 40s, for crying out loud. Like,
thank you.
I mean, look at you. You look amazing. Like, I am so freaking excited for you. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you again for showing up. Thank you for your time. I know you're super busy and you work a lot, but I appreciate you.
Having me.
I appreciate you, Coleman. I appreciate you for trusting in this. I appreciate you for sharing your personal story and all your results. I hope that it brings I hope it gives somebody else power, is really all we want. If we can touch one more person tonight, just one person at a time, to me, that's everything, brother. And, I'm just grateful to be able to call you a friend now. And I can't wait to continue to get to know you and continue to celebrate your successes. So we are very thankful to have you as part of this community, and we appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, Jess. I enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, brother. We're gonna do it again and do a follow-up for sure. So, guys, thank you so much for your time. I hope you got some value out of this. If you have teammates, if you know people, sharing is caring. If you've experienced amazing results, you got to go out. You got to tell people. It is selfish. It is selfish not to tell people, whether they understand or not, what you're talking about. If you've experienced amazing results like Coleman, or you want to share his story, people need to know about this, because it's no bullshit. It gets to the point and it gets you results. And would you agree, Coleman, it's probably one of the easiest things that you've ever done to regain back control of your health?
It's a piece of cake. It's a no-brainer. There is no thought. There's no effort. Just do it. Just do it.
Just freaking do it, like Coleman says. Guys, every single Tuesday night, we bring you another amazing story where we dive deeper. Please join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern for our weekly ER Shred team call, where we have anywhere from 5 to 7 shorter testimonials of people that have just come into the shred. Maybe they're on day 5. Maybe they just finished on day 11. They're sharing their experiences. A lot of times we're crying. You got goosebumps. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. And on Thursday, part of holistic health is also financial health, financial wealth, financial well-being. Coleman, I know you know this as an entrepreneur. Health is just a big, important part, right? Like, money can't buy you happiness, but like my friend Adam says, and many other people say, it's just as high up there as with oxygen, baby. So we have opportunity for people, and that's on Thursday night with our amazing other ambassador, Mr. Bob Sivright. Like, we have something for freaking everybody. And like my buddy Coleman says, just freaking do it. Guys, have an amazing night. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.